All right, welcome back to the Jason Gray Show. Let's go ahead and talk about the border crisis at our southern border. And how I came about thinking about this subject today was Mayorkas was on the Hill talking in front of the Democrats and the Republicans. Republicans were brutal to him. They were like, you need to resign, you need to be fired. It was a rough day for that poor kid. And then you take a look at the Democrats, they were rough too. But this has been historically a very, very big issue for the United States. And so let's talk about how I sort of see things. And I don't have a great solution here, but let's walk ourselves through it. And I'd love to have your input on it. But there's a reason why we let people in our country. And let it be either tech workers through the H-1B visa, or people coming across the border seeking asylum, or just trying to make better for their livelihoods and saying it's an asylum issue. And there are a lot of people that come to the border and they shoot back, right? They reject them back. There's a million of them that come through the country and they make it across our borders illegally. It's not like for you and me, if we were to go and say, okay, we're going to illegally come into China and China would just allow us to randomly come in their country. We do need to have a secured border for our safety, and we need to have a secure border to keep drugs out and try to keep, some of the riffraff out as well. So let's talk about some of the economics behind this. And I'm going to quote something here, which doesn't sound a little funny, but Elon Musk said we need more people in the world, and the United States needs more people in its country. And I know you're going to say, oh my gosh, there's a housing crisis. There's all these issues. The big cities are so, compact and there's so many people. You're right. If you take a look at a map of the United States and you look at the big cities, New York, Miami and Los Angeles and Seattle, but you look at the whole country in general, there is so much unused land in the United States. It's just everyone congregates right into the big cities because that's where everything's at. So the reason why we need more people in the United States is we need to people that are coming from other countries are willing to take jobs that some of us are not willing to take. Let's say he's picking apples or picking cherries or washing dishes or whatever those jobs might be. They're willing to take those jobs because they're trying to make a betterment for their family. And a lot of these people are taking on 2 or 3 jobs. God bless them. Let them do this. And those people that are adding to our society, I love them to death. That's great. The problem that we run into is we have to have a secured border. And I know that some of you will agree and some of you will disagree about the border wall, but having a border wall that's somewhat secure, that creates a situation where they have to funnel into certain areas and we can control the rest of it, that's better than the drug cartel shooting a whole bunch of people across the border over here and then coming over here and sneaking a whole bunch of fentanyl across the border, or drugs or cocaine or whatever it might be across the border over here to distract. And that just unfortunately kills our young kids or people who are on fentanyl or heroin or whatever it might be. And unfortunately, we're killing off our society. These are our young adults that are, you'd hope to be productive adults in their future in their lives, and unfortunately they're getting hooked on drugs. And it's a national crisis. And so they need to secure the border, and they need to get together between the Republicans and Democrats and come up with some real laws that will protect our country and protect our borders across the borders in regards to the southern border, northern border, and the oceans on our sides. The United States is a unique country because we do have a lot of protections. Most people can't come from the oceans on the sides. The southern border is our poorest piece of the puzzle. Most people are not coming from the north-south. And so the United States is pretty secure, but we need to finish that off and create laws where people can't just randomly come across and seek asylum. And I think what they need to do is, if they're coming from a country that is where they need to seek an asylum from, whatever country that they land in, they need to seek asylum in that first country. Not go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other countries to get to the United States border and say, I need to seek asylum here. And then Mayorkas, who was on the Hill, he was saying, well, I don't know if I could come up with a rule like that because we'd have to get agreements from other countries. And one of the senators came out and says, another country can't make our rules and our regulations. We can create whatever rules we want to, and if they don't abide by them, then we stop giving them money, technically. And we give a lot of money. The United States gives out our tax-paying dollars to all these countries And unfortunately, there is a lot of fraud in regards to us giving out our money. And I just don't know how much further that we can continue to give our U.S. tax dollars to the war on Ukraine, the war on this, the war on that, bases throughout the whole world, everywhere, humanitarian issues. At some point in time, it has to slow down. You're going to bankrupt our country. We're $31 trillion in debt. And trillion doesn't seem like a lot because it's just a name. But that is a ridiculous sum of money. If you really look at, charts or scales of what that looks like, it's a stupid amount of money. So in doing so, I know this is a humanitarian issue that we got to deal with. We're trying to keep out like the riffraff, right? And we do want good quality people that come into our country and, hopefully hold some of our values of our beliefs and how you need to treat other people. And I'm in the belief is if you're not hurting me, do what the hell ever you want to do. I don't care if you do your own thing, just don't affect me. And our border, I know it's not been done with any president yet to date, and we're holding on to the Title 42 to sort of keep people out of the country. It's got to get resolved. And I know there's not an easy solution, and not one size is going to fit all. I don't have a perfect solution. I'm sure you'll leave your comments below and tell me what your solution is as well. But at the end of the day, we need to come up with something to protect our country. Give me your thoughts, like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.